So welcome to another conversation for Millionairess magazine and the Millionairess movement. I'm Amanda Jane Clarkson, editor-in-chief, and today I'm delighted to be joined by the very dynamic Shayla Rivera. Shayla is an aerospace engineer and former rocket scientist with NASA, turned salesperson, corporate trainer, international keynote speaker, TEDx speaker, TV and radio host, MC host, comedian, actor, writer, producer, and seminar facilitator. Can you believe it? Wow. However, Shayla says that none of these labels tells you much about her. She best describes herself as a Renaissance woman. I cannot wait to hear more. Welcome to the Millionairess magazine, Shayla. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and being here today.
Thank you, Amanda, very much for having me. I cherish any opportunity that I have to connect with somebody that has the energy that's coming through the camera here from you.
Oh,
I need that. I love it.
Thank you. Oh, we love what we do, and we love sharing stories of inspiration just like yours. Unique stories. So share with us, Shayla, your story or your journey of how your journey began to lead you to where you are today.
Wow. So I don't think that it's funny because that's what I say when I make any kind of presentation. I like us all to remember that what we are individually is a story. That's all we are.
Yep.
You're a story. Amanda's a story, Shayla's a story. And, today, yours and mine are crossing paths. And what happens when two stories cross paths, we become entangled, which is a quantum physics principle. And I love talking about that. So from now and forever, you and I and the people who are watching right now will have some sort of connection that will always will exist. We will always be able to recollect. But, the most important thing about your story is this question: are you writing it or is somebody else writing it? Who is writing your story? Who's holding the pen in the hand? Who is, and if you're holding the pen and you're writing it, are the words that are coming out into your story yours? Or perhaps are words of things that you learned, things that you think you were told that it was that way. So I think it's a matter of to be able to write a good story, a good adventure. I decided a few years back that many years back that I wanted to have an adventure. I want my life to be a sort of adventure, and I don't think that I did that on purpose, like purposefully, like I'm going to have an adventure. I just always wanted to. I was always a dreamer. One of these kids that could just sit there and lollygag and think about, how wonderful, and just use my imagination to go places and imagine things. So, the story for me began a long time ago in Puerto Rico. So I've had many lifetimes, I think, in the one lifetime, and I think I'm not unique. I think everybody, I just see it this way. There's what we need to have is present. You have to be present in your story. Yep. And I think most of us are not. Most of us are not.
I agree.
We're not where we're at. We're somewhere, but we are somewhere else. Okay. Exactly. So we have to, I have a meeting tomorrow and I have to get this thing and I got to pick up the dry clean and whatever. And the thing is, we're never here now. And we miss out on the beauty of being able to connect with Amanda right now. I have the opportunity to connect with you directly right now. So I'm here. And that's one of the things I've gotten better at becoming is present. And that has been afforded me the blessing of being able to walk through many lifetimes, like I said, of different things. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and then my parents moved us all to Texas. And I didn't speak English. I like to tell the story where I got to Texas. I had to learn English, which wasn't easy because they don't talk English here. So it was one of those moments in your life where you are completely uprooted from everything because it's not just that you moved to another place, is that in my case, I was moving to a completely different culture, language, uh, people's temperance. I was completely uh, outside the box. And what that did for me is it made me scared first. And I told mom, I said, Mom, I don't speak English. This is a problem. She said, I don't care. Handle it.
Sounds like my mother. I
Yeah,
don't
right. I mean, our parents were like, you just got to do it. So let's do it. But
care.
she gave me a couple of weeks to get over it. She very kind of my mother. You have
Very
2 weeks
kind.
to
2
get
weeks,
over it.
a long time.
So I started watching TV, and I just want to share this one quantum leap moment because I think everybody has something like this. I was 17. I'm watching TV. It's 1979. You can do the math. And 1979, and I'm watching the Gong Show. Back in the day, the Gong Show in America was really strange. They had strange acts, and it was about that. It was about weird acts. And I'm watching it because it's visually interesting. I don't understand what they're saying because I don't speak English. But I see the guy introduces the next act, and out comes this woman that weighed, I don't know, 600 pounds, wearing a thong bikini. And I like to say maybe it wasn't a thong, but when she walked, it became a thong. I really don't know. But she walked to a piano, and when she sat down to play it, she was a maestro. I was like blown away. I said, whoa, I'm missing out on something here because I see what's happening, but I have no notion. I don't understand it. And I got so righteously upset. I said, that's it. I'm going to learn this language. I'm going to learn it right. I'm not going to live afraid of a language, and I'm not going to talk like this, whatever. So I went into my room and I started reading out loud. And what happened, the quantum leap is, 5 months later, I found myself in a conversation with a professor, here in my school. And in the middle of conversation, I kind of come to the conversation. You know how you sometimes you're somewhere and then you get there.
Yeah.
And I go, whoa, check me out. I'm actually carrying on a conversation in English with this guy. How cool is this? And then I had another thought. And the thought was, well, if I can do this, I can do anything. And then the third thought, which is not easy to say still, wasn't mine really. It was one of these whispers that you get in life. And the whisper said to me, remember, if you can do anything, then anybody can do anything. And I have never, that moment has been seared in my mind because that's the moment, that is what has taken me through everything I have walked through. Because I know for sure that if anybody has accomplished anything, anybody else can accomplish the same thing or a similar thing. They really have to want to do it. They have to commit, they have to resolve. And for me, the quantum leap was that I realized years later that I learned and mastered English the moment I said, that's it. The moment I decide and resolved that English, I was going to learn it, that's when I learned it. It just took 5 months for me to, go back and forth and learn it or to rehearse it or whatever. But I think we have many quantum leaps like that when we have said, I am doing this now. I have to handle this now, especially if you're a mother, that, those moments of, I have no other option. This is it. And the thing is, we can use that for everything. We can use that for also to bring ourselves the things we want in life. But we got to know what we want. Most of us don't ever ask ourselves, what do I want? And I can tell you, I always said, well, I want peace. I want peace and beauty. I love peace and beauty. Who doesn't, right?
Exactly.
But beauty, it's that feeling of goodness, and it's going to be all right. And let me be an instrument of good stuff, of bringing something good to another that may not be in a good position. So anyway, that moment for me was life transforming. And yes, I studied aerospace engineering. And yes, after that, I went into sales. And after that, I went into stress management training and motivational speaking. And people would say, you should be a comedian. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be enlightening, idiot. What's wrong with you? I was offended. Oh my God, Amanda. I was so offended when people suggested that I should do stand-up. But I kept hearing it because, again, sometimes you don't know what the next thing is. But if you're open, life will go, hey, how about over here? Have you looked at there? But, most of the time, I'm like, no, I got to pay attention to that over there and we miss it. So
Mm.
I tried it. I finally, I started saying, well, maybe I should try it. Maybe I should. And then like I said, I let the should hit the fan, and I went ahead and I tried stand up, and I've been doing stand up also for 27 years this year. And in my stand up and in my presentation keynotes and everything, I came back to my alma mater. I made a presentation, and somebody said to me, "Oh my God, you should teach here." And I'm like, that's stupid. Teach here? I can't do that. I don't have a PhD. That's stupid. Is that possible? Again, life brought me to this place where it all started for me, which is Texas A&M. And I am now a professor of practice and a director of a program here where I help engineering students become more, I say, comfortable in their own skin. I engineer the engineer, because I learned that it doesn't matter how much you know and how many equations you can cite and use. It's who you become throughout the process of, going to study engineering. Or, we don't pay attention to that. We're only paying attention to your grades and make sure you do this and participate and do all these things. Yeah, but how are you? Where are you at when it comes to everything? So I'm doing that. And fast forward a little bit to this HBO. I mean, I left LA, I don't know, 8 years ago. I had it with the scene and the show business, out there. Because I really was doing stand up because I wanted to make people laugh. I enjoyed it,
Well, at the
but
end of
there's
the
so
day, don't they say, Shayla, if you open somebody's heart with laughter, you open their mind. So really, it's a beautiful mesh of what you're doing, inspiring people through laughter. I think it's the fastest way to growth, personal growth.
Yeah.
Because I
where
think
people open up. Yeah.
exactly, they open their heart, they open their mind, because you touched on something really significant early on, being present. It is a word that's flipped around, but not a lot of people really understand or live in the present moment. In fact, the number plate on my car is live now. And it's hard to be in the now because, like you said, we're always looking over here,
Right.
here,
Right.
wondering what other people should be. So what is your advice to people who go, well, I would love to be present in the moment and enjoying my life, being the best version of me, because I agree, it's not what you get, it's who you become. How do you get there, though, from a standpoint of feeling out of control in your life?
Such a good question, and the one that we have to really answer for ourselves. This is not easy work.
No.
In the sense that if you want me to give you a pill or 7 steps for here, 12 notions of that, or 5 habits of this, you're not going to get that from me. I'm going to tell you there's only, the only way to do that is to do that. And you have to do that through awareness. One of the best phrases that I ever heard in our stress management trainings was, we always open with, what you're unaware of controls you. What you become aware of, you can change. We're not even aware of what's controlling us, which is typically limiting beliefs, things that we learn from another, or what we think it's always something that's kind of limiting us, but we're not aware of it, but it's in charge. It's mandating your actions. It's the lie that's repeated over and over again that becomes the truth. And who's repeating this lie? You are. You got that, oh, I gotta get up and I gotta go, oh, it's gonna be so hard today, and I gotta talk to Dorothy. I don't want to talk to Dorothy, she's such a pain. Whatever. We gotta pay attention to this little,
I
I
call
always
it the
ask
bird
people.
on the shoulder.
Okay, yeah, I ask people all the time, I always ask, how many of you meditate? And you get 1 or 2 people. And then I go, all of you meditate. When you wake up, meditation is what is the narrative in your mind? That's why meditation says, focus on your breathing or say Om or whatever, so that you shut the monkey mind, right? The thing is, we all meditate. We have this thing going on all the time. Yeah. That's mostly not ours. It's something that we learned. And we don't you need awareness. That's how you become present. First you hear it. First you got to go, wow, did I just have that thought? That was rude, or whatever. And then by paying attention to things, by bringing them out to the light, it's the way that you can then get out of whatever little places and limiting places you are. The journey of awareness is ABC. Awareness begins change. So you have to get curious about yourself. You have to use the moments where life is difficult as a as a signal. There might be something for me to change here. There might be something I can do better. What can I learn from this? You shift. The shifting is so small. It's a pivoting thing. It's like, you either let life happen to you or you let it happen for you. Oh, come on, don't give me that. Well, okay, listen, this is a choice to
So
allow
Shayla,
life.
I've got a great question for you because I'm listening to you very intently here. And I hope everyone watching this interview is. Would you agree that so many people, and I'm talking about women here because this is our group here, get stuck in our story. Now, I know that you have overcome great adversity and pain in your life.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So
have.
the woman listening to this that says, but you don't understand. I've got this pain. I've got that happening. I've got that. Walk us through. Keep going on your trajectory.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
loving
let
it.
me let me tell you about that. There, there is there. If there's one thing I know, especially about women, is that we are extremely strong creatures. We are, boy, we are beasts of burden, and we would do better to take care of ourselves first, but we don't
Yeah.
know how to do that. Especially if you're a mother, you think that that's not right.
Yes.
Um, but one of the things I like to say to people or to women is like, look, you are very strong. That's it. You're strong. You're resilient. If you're here sitting here, that means you've survived whatever's happened up to now. And I'm sure that a lot of things have happened. We all have lost parents. We've all, I was diagnosed with breast cancer 7 years ago, something like that. But by that time, I was able to tell the doctor, okay, tell me what I got to do next, and I'll give it my best. And the doctor's like, did you hear me? I mean, you have breast cancer. So I said, yes, but tell me what I got to do, and I'll give it my best. That's all I could do. I really wasn't afraid at that moment. I was only feeling bad because I have my children, and I knew they would be scared and all of that anyway. But I was able to walk through that and take the treatment and everything. And I am, I can report I'm cancer free now, and I'm going to stay that way because that's the way it's going to be. But the point is that I was able to, I was really strong. And so I find those moments, that moment is when life can push you sometimes. Like to me, that was a push. A lot of people say, well, breast cancer, that's a punch. And
Yeah.
I can tell you it's not. I can tell you it's not, because life can get really, can just knock you on your behind in a way that's incredible that you don't expect. A couple of years ago, I was coming back from doing a comedy show in Lake Tahoe, a beautiful place. And when I came back, I landed in, city 2 hours away from here, and I had to drive home. And I landed at midnight, and by the time I got home, it was 2:30, and I came upstairs and um, came, into my house to find the body of my son, who had passed away perhaps a couple of hours, maybe less beforehand. Um, Now I'm getting to the place where I don't completely break down telling you this. It was, what can I tell you? It is not pain. It's a your heart just tears. There's a tear that happens. My son was my buddy, a good man, all of those things, and I could see that, he was in pain. Again, he was in pain because we as human beings don't take care of one another, and don't mind the power of our words, especially families. Families are so brutal with one another. And he was a sensitive person, and I think he just had it. And uh, and I had to learn how to be here without, the I have two kids. So I always told them, one of you is a beat of my heart, the other one's the air in my lungs. So how do you do that? And the first year was really hard. Uh, I was functioning. I
Mhm.
was functioning, and but I wasn't me. You're never you again. There's a part of me that's, yeah, you're a different person. And a year into his anniversary, the anniversary of his death, I woke up with him in my ear saying, "Mom, you got to dream again." He used to call me a badass, and says, "You're such a badass," and I'm not. But so I heed his words, and I sat down and I took a pen and I started writing. Okay, so what are my dreams anymore? Right? I mean, why? And I wrote some things, but one of the things I wrote was that I was going to do my HBO half-hour special with Edwin Licona. And I put that little notebook away. It's over there. And 3 months later, Edwin called and said, "Shayla, I'm about to pitch half-hour specials. And can I give him your name?" And I was super afraid because I hadn't been doing stand-up anymore, and not really religiously. And
Yeah.
but I said, yes, yes, let's do it. And I did the special, and I hated the special. Oh my God. I said, I dreamed all my life to do this special, and now this is the best I can do. But the
What
thing
did you
is,
hate
because
about it though? What was it happening in the moment where you said, "I hate all this"?
what do you mean? What was happening in what moment?
Did you love what you would when you finally got to do what you had dreamed of and written down in your journal in that moment? Were you celebrating inside, or how were you feeling?
When I wrote it down after, you mean after when I heard my son saying it to me, what was I feeling?
When you actually got to live it?
To live it. So I no, I was afraid. I was afraid. All I had was fear. Now, I have big cojones. I got big, I'm a rebel. Most women are, and you're not going to know if I'm afraid or whatever, but that doesn't mean I don't have, trepidations and fear. But I went and I did it, and we call it dialing it in. So I
Yep.
just got on stage, and you wouldn't have known, nobody knows, but I knew it. And the thing about me is I felt that I was an imposter in that moment, because a comedian has to be honest. A comedian has to talk about what's going on in their life, right?
Yeah.
And I was doing comedy that I had done before I lost my son. So I felt like an awful imposter. I hated it. I couldn't cross that line of enjoying it. And I said, "Oh my God," I thought it was awful. So I said, "Maybe it'll never come out. Maybe it'll never come out." And then COVID hit, and I said, "Good." The pandemic is going to keep HBO from doing this. But then they called me a few months ago, and here's how it happens. It's just, life is so strange.
Yeah.
Um, so here I'm just going to do an HBO special. That's it. And I didn't want it to come out, but it's coming out fine. I'm also going to say, I'm not going to say, "Oh, please don't do it." I'm not going to do that. Look, if that's what I put out, put it out there. But then they called me and said, due to the climate, the political climate and all this stuff out there, they didn't just film mine. They filmed a bunch of other comedians, maybe four of them. And they said, we need to edit some things out that might seem inappropriate. So if you ever have seen a comedy show, you don't, editing a comedian, or just kind of like doing this kind of canceling of political correctness in comedy doesn't work. But they kind of cut it out, so they chopped it up even more, and I'm like, okay, so I hated it, and now it's chopped up, whatever. But they said, "But please, we want you to film a 3-minute outro, and we'll put it at the end and let people know, thank you for joining me and watching this thing." And I couldn't get that out. I couldn't get that out until I said, "Well, let me just speak to the camera." And then I started telling the story. I said, I have had a dream of doing this special for 20 years. And I know it's not my best. It's not my best. And I talk about my son and I said all this stuff. And then but as I was, as I was saying these things, what came into my head was what I would read to my son, or what one of the quotes. I love to give quotes to my kids. And my son popped it into my head, is Theodore Roosevelt's Man in the Arena, which says it's not the critic that counts, it's the person that actually shows up and does the deed and battles and gets bloodied and gets dirty and everything. And while I'm talking, I got it. He was letting me know, Mom, you are the man in the arena. You were not 100%. I told people that wasn't my best, but that was my best that night. I gave that special my best.
Such a great message that you're sharing there, Shayla, because any woman listening to this, the metaphor is you were the man in the arena. And that is part of, well, I call it a living a life by design, not default.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with awareness, like you said, but stepping onto the arena, just get in the game of life.
Right.
It's life has two sides. We're talking about quantum physics here. There's people chase this one-sided life where everything has to be happy, perfect, and to get this mask on. I've just learnt over the years, and we can talk about this if you'd like, is just embrace both sides of life. But wouldn't you rather be in the game than sitting up in the arena just, blurting out comments based on zero understanding of what it's like to get on stage? I would have cheered you on, girlfriend. I know what it's like to be on stage and feeling like a failure.
It is true. We and the critic, everybody else is a critic and they tear you down, or you think they're going to. A lot of times they don't even do that. But yeah, you have to get in there. You're not alive unless you are risking, and unless you are, and I always lived that way before, but it was that's like the spirit of my spirit needed to feel that. And it gave me such peace when I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, I did show up. I did do what I tell my kids to do, and all my students and anybody that I talk to. I encourage, you got to show up. You give it your best. And sometimes your best is not the best, but it was your best that day. And that's it. And in entrepreneurship, when you opening a business, or you're considering going forward to make your mark, you're going to slip, fall, and get dirty so much. But
you're going to have your knees scun more than once. I say,
my gosh,
your face is going to hit the dirt more times than you care to count, baby. Get ready for it.
It's about getting up again. And, and sometimes it takes you a while. It took me, when my son passed away, that is a huge thing for me. Yeah. But when you surrendering is such a huge and courageous thing to do. When you surrender to what is, and you are still able to be grateful for the things you have, and for who you are, and for everything, just for everything. There's such power in that.
I agree with you. We talk about surrender for a moment. I've been a student of personal development for well over 30 years, and I love these conversations. It's so easy to say. And, as an entrepreneur myself, I've had lots of businesses. Patience is the key word. Letting go to the grand organized design, or whatever you want to call it. For the woman listening to this that's just trying to control everything in her life, she wants the success now. She just wants the one-sided life that's not there. What would be your advice based on your own life journey and your own understanding? What's maybe one or two little pieces of advice you could give that woman?
I'm going to tell you something. First of all, you're going to get old fast.
Oh,
stop trying to control everything. You're going to wear it in your face, and you got to do it. You can't. You have to control. Oh my gosh. It's much better to be, the way I see that. Actually, control is probably the thing that I battled the most, because growing up I was second, and I I never had control of anything. Nobody gave me control. I wanted to control nothing. So I had this battle control most of the time. But what I found is that nobody likes people that are always controlling and telling, everybody nobody likes that. I like to see it as, I think of water. So controlled people, the thing is, you got to be like water. So here's water coming down the hillside, and here's the rock here and the other one here. So the water always takes the same path because of all the barriers, right? So the thing is, water doesn't care. Water's just going to go whichever way is open. It's going to find a way, you know water doesn't try to control and move the rock out of the way or whatever. It wears the rocks out. It wears it builds its own way. And, you can't really get water to go in a different way that the water is going to go. I mean, you got to be like water. But the thing about water too is that, like, our thoughts are like water. So we always think like same in the morning. Oh my God, this is hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You got to interrupt that. You got to start damming those thoughts so that your thought flows in a different way. And that takes doing, that takes presence, that takes, and control is one of those things. Let go. You got to let go. If you're a controlling person, you don't know how to receive. You're only giving, and I'm in control, and this is the way it's always out. Has anybody ever tried to give you some advice or tried to say something to you, and you just, I don't need that, or no, I just will do it myself? You need to learn to receive as well. Control only just like always, let's go do it my way, my way, my way. And they don't even see how blind they are to the fact that your way doesn't leave any room for something better. Exactly. There could be something better.
So true. So true.
You have to open yourself up. Yeah, controlling is not the way to go. You're just going to get old. You're not going to laugh as much. Why? I mean, how hard is it to control ourselves? And then we think we can control other people and control, stuff that happens. No, I mean, begin with controlling your own thoughts and let me know how that goes. I mean, it takes work. It's possible. It's completely possible.
I see you lighting up from the inside out, just talking about this and the possibilities, empowering yourself so that you can live that life by design with all of your breadth of work, and it's incredible. What is it that you love the most?
What a great question. Those are the great. What I love the most. I like finding what I love the most is the power we all have. And that power is the power of words. Yeah. Think about it. Everybody has the power of words. We all can blah, 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 right? We can build with words. We can paint a beautiful picture. We can paint an awful picture. We can, destroy. We can make sad. We can make people laugh. Everyone has the power to affect another person, another human being, and therefore ourselves. But the use of words, they're intangible. It's blah, blah, right? It's just words coming out of your mouth. I mean, most of the time I work with somebody who's a vegan, and he's just fine if you're a vegan. I don't care, but he's militant. And you'll go to lunch and he's like, well, I just people, and then just spends half an hour putting people that are not vegans down or whatever. And one day I said, well, isn't it interesting that you care so much about what goes into your mouth, but you don't care about what comes out?
Oh, beautifully said.
And everybody's like that. We all care so much. And I'm just having a diet and this. Why don't you care more about, I can tell you that my beautiful son would have been in a better place if he had those words that parents can say in a different way, or that you can share with another person. Use words with purpose, with good purpose, with good intention, for peace and beauty. Paint peace and beauty. That is not weakness. That not at all. Being peaceful, being kind, being building beauty takes a very strong person. I mean, anger and meanness is of the weak. kindness is of the strong and the generous and the compassionate. But we have built some narrative that, to be tough, especially men, they have to be, you don't cry and do this. And women, you shouldn't cry, because if you cry, then, you're not an entrepreneur. Oh, please. Are you kidding me? We don't allow ourselves, our humanity, to be what it is. And when you do that to any animal, they're going to go nuts. We're
Yeah.
all, yeah, we have to pay. I would say that. I would say, get interested in words. Listen to when people, if you listen to what's being said in the news or what's being said over here, that people are using words to plant seeds in your mind and plant the narrative and plant some image or whatever. Guard your own garden of words. Guard it yourself. Go, oh, that's interesting that you say it that way, but I'm going to think about that. Get interested in language. Everything is a language. There's a language of entrepreneurship. There's a language of love. There's a language of philosophy, a language of engineering, a language of ethics. Expose yourself to the different languages. There's a language of comedy. There's a language of self-improvement.
Yeah.
How many of those languages can you speak is the point. You need to get out there and learn some more of these languages. And
yeah, I'm with you 100%. And it's, I noticed that a lot of women along my journey of mentoring, they don't feel worthy of their own investment into mentors or surrounding themselves with people that are conducive to their success, or even learning new skills of language, because our words create our destiny, as we're talking about here. What would you say to the woman not even feeling worthy of herself to make an investment in herself? Because a lot of people think after school, that's it.
Yeah. Oh my God. And that's just the beginning.
If that's it, I'm in trouble.
That's when it starts. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm going to tell you this. If you are in in a small place where you're not, where you can't see that you're worthy of something better, or of investing in somebody who's going to elevate you, or a mentor or whatever, sadly, I'm brutal. Sadly, nobody can do anything for you. You need to be your number one fan. You need to learn to become that. You need to see yourself the way you would see your child. What would you do for your child? I like to tell people that I loved my son just like a mother loves. I mean, it's just, I cannot. And so if my son had said to me, Mom, can you carry this for me? This is too much pain. I can't carry the burden. I would have said, give it to me. Give it to me and give me 7 more burdens. I got it. I will do this, because that's women.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself. The thing is, I would have done that. But you see, I can't do it. I couldn't do it for him. I learned one thing, one of the biggest pearls that I received after a year, over a year after his passing, is that I can't do it for anyone.
Yeah.
You have to do it for yourself. I can help you. I will fill you up with as much, change your mind and everything. And it's okay, because if you're used to going to the blah place, and you're going to feel good and motivated, and then you're going to go back there and you're going to feel good. The way it's like training a puppy, like Jen Sincero says, you got to take the puppy out every day. They'll pee in the carpet again, but you got to take it out and take it out. You don't give up on that. You don't give up on it. And a mentor, somebody a coach, you have to expose yourself to the message all the time. I'm sure, Amanda, you did the same thing. People ask me, how do you stay motivated? How do you do this? Every morning I wake up and I have this thing around my head right here, and I'm listening to my books as I'm putting on I am connected to motivation, inspiration. I am connected to music. I'm connected to the things that are going to keep, that water thing. this was as a kid, this was what I was given by my condition. And this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. I didn't want that. So to change that to something else, I have to keep sending the water this way. My thoughts have to go this way. And nothing feels better than to be inspired and motivated and laugh,
Yeah.
dance. And we don't do that enough. So the only answer is stay connected to the message of good, of inspiration, of power, of empowerment, of you can do it. And it's okay. You're gonna feel bad sometimes. That's
Yeah.
okay.
It starts
Sometimes
with
your
awareness.
hormones are going to take over too. It's okay.
Exactly. Oh, I'm a bit like you. I have my morning routine. I've got my journal here. I plug straight in. I go straight to the gym. Let's talk about a morning routine. Here we go, girlfriend. We are alive. And it's so funny when you talk about being water around rocks in a lot of the stuff I teach. That's the exact analogy that I use. Just flow and be water. You can't control.
Surrender. Let
Surrender.
it be.
I love
Yeah.
it. But
But
let's
the thing is, Amanda, you and I know that we don't own this. We don't own the message of what is. The truth is what sets you free. What is freedom? Freedom feels good. You feel
yeah,
empowered. You feel at peace. You feel beauty. Freedom feels good. So if something doesn't feel good, then it's not the truth somehow. That's the way I see it. So if I hear something that doesn't feel good, it's not setting me free, then I need to contemplate whatever it is that I'm being told or that I'm seeing. That's why journaling is so important. You need to get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Write things down. Nobody's going to read them. Burn it if you want to. But you do
exactly.
have to get it out.
Let's
And
talk about that for a sec. We're talking about journaling. Gratitude, obviously, is a big part of your daily routine. How important, in your view or from your experience, is having gratitude a big part of your life?
oh my God, how can you be okay without it? You just can't. You see, and both Amanda and I are about to explode when we think about gratitude. Gratitude is that state of peace and beauty. Gratitude, my God, you see the beauty in everything. You see the beauty in the idiot that cut eventually you get to the place where you can say,
Exactly.
but you train yourself, gratitude is key. If you're not feeling grateful for what you have, then you're not connecting to divinity. And divinity is everything. It's quantum, it's science, it's spiritual, it's everything. Divinity. So I tell people, get yourself um, um, a mantra, right? Something you repeat, an affirmation. I am divinely guided and protected, directed and connected. I am healthy, wealthy, happy, and whole. I repeat these things. I have my tenets of courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. When you're in a hard position and somebody's courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. I do it. You have to interrupt the water. You have to interrupt the negativity and go, no, this way. Courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control. Those are the people that we all admire, people that have been able to not be, like you say, living by design,
Yeah.
like you say. This is not happening by accident. This is, something that takes work, but it's the most beautiful work that we are never taught to do. We are never taught to do this. We have to learn it. We find it by getting by way of pain. That's it. Pain. But to know, okay, the thing is, most people don't even know they're in pain. They're just like this all the time, and they're just mean and that. You're in pain. I'm not in pain. Okay, you are in pain because that's pain. That's not our natural state. Our natural state is grace and goodness. And look at a kid. Kid doesn't, a kid comes here perfectly open and without any kind of prejudices. You don't wear yellow and purple. What are you doing? Or we don't. You learn that stress is learned, anxiety is learned. Anxiety doesn't attack. You know, we choose actually to be stressed out. We choose to be angry. We choose. So if you make that change of seeing, am I choosing this? Is it happening to me? Or am I choosing it? And you're going to find that, you know, really a great percentage of the time, if not all the time, you are doing it. You're
Yeah.
choosing it. So that's the first thing you got to do. You got to accept that you are the one in charge. I recoil when I hear sometimes, you know, words are so important. So, you know, I keep hearing sometimes say, you're in control of your destiny and you're in control of these things. And I go, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, no, no. You're in charge. You're in charge of what control you're going to take. You're in charge of all of it, because that's if being in charge of how you feel and everything will make you take the steps and make the choices that then will take you to the control going in the, if you're not where you want to be or moving in that direction, even if it's hard, right? If you're not doing that, then you're not really in control. You're not even in charge. It's all up to you. It's you. You're the one doing it. It's a quantum principle. I'm telling you, we are the observer. We are affecting the results of the experiment of our lives. We're all in the same laboratory with access to the same equipment, and we're all getting different results according to what the observer is expecting as a result.
So in other words, you get what you expect in life. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Didn't mom always tell you, be careful what you pray for? You know, in life,
Yes.
you find what you're looking for.
Yes.
It's the same thing. But we're doing it mostly without being aware of it.
Exactly. We're just
And then
running on autopilot.
autopilot. And we
Yeah.
think that we are right. We think that we're a victim. There's no victims.
No.
I mean, there's a victim mentality and approach to life. And you don't want that. That's the worst. You're in charge. At any point, you can say, that's it. I'm learning this language and I'm learning it right now. If I did it, anybody can do it about that or anything else.
Yeah. This has been an incredibly invaluable conversation, and I hope any woman listening and watching this right now has taken a whole journal full of notes. It is so empowering and invigorating. I have one final question I would love to ask you. We've just got one last moment. Shayla, what specifically would you love to be known and remembered for?
I would love to be remembered for someone who walked through her pain and understood how that made her human, and then was able to help other people find the same place of peace and beauty and gratitude and everything. I want to be known for being someone who, I don't want to motivate you, or I just want to show you the truths that I have seen, not just in me, but in everybody else, good or bad. And I want you to know that you're okay, no matter where you're at right now, no matter what's going on right now, no matter how hard or how easy or whatever. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. Be joyful. I want to be known for being the person that brought God in the room. That's what the feeling of the feeling of everything's possible. Everything is good. I am to be grateful, and I have the power to change my life and to change my mind. And that's the feeling of God. The feeling of, that's what I call it. You can call it moose, you can call it whatever you want to, but the feeling of God in the room. Make people laugh. Make people just leave them better than I found them. That's it.
It's really profound and beautiful, and you've certainly lit up my morning. And I have loved this conversation, and I feel
Me
like
too.
we could go on for hours and hours. I just so love talking about quantum physics, and I'm sure I could learn so much from you. And you have I can see that you just can teach so much to so many people and have a massive impact on their life in a positive way. And you've been an integral part of the Millionairess movement. So I want to say thank you from my heart. I've loved this conversation.
My honor and my privilege. And I know this is not going to be the last time you and I connect. It can't be, because you have done so much more for me today that you think and I know you know it, because you understand that you just being able to connect with someone with whom you resonate harmoniously. It's so important.
I can feel it. And I know it will not be our last time. And I just cannot wait for our next conversation. And it's been a delight spending this time with you.
Same here.
And I'm sure our followers will just love this conversation. Gold.
That's fantastic. So we will stay connected. And if anybody has any questions, you can give them my email, and we can connect whichever way we need to connect.
Yeah. If you'd like to give out an email or anything like that inside our magazine or
absolutely
connect, you are so welcome to. What would that be, Shayla?
My direct email would be Shayla, SHAYLA at ShaylaRivera.com. So you can go to my website too, ShaylaRivera.com, and send me an email by way of there, but I mean, there's so many. There's Facebook, and nobody uses Facebook anymore. We're old. Young people don't use it. But, I have a Facebook and everything. But Shayla Rivera, you'll find me if you just do a Google. But if not, just reach out to Amanda. We're going to have to do some events. We're going to have to do some. I think
so.
Oh my God, how wonderful will that be?
Online is the way to go, girlfriend. I mean, this is a global stage connecting women globally. And I think that now is the time to women, especially, are open to new ideas, new understandings, being directed on a new pathway. And I just love the message.
So much we have to talk about regarding that. Women, be beautiful. Do what you love to do. Let's not put each other down. Let's elevate. And if she doesn't wear makeup, that's fine. But if she wears makeup like me, that's fine too. We gotta be supportive and loving and human to each other. Let's do that. My God, what we can build. Oh boy, what we can build.
Band together. That's what I say. Collaborate, not cooperate. There's no competition at all.
No, right. Yes. Oh, I love it.
Thank you, beautiful woman. Please stay in touch.
You're beautiful. I love it.
I love you. I love your accent between Latino and Texas. What a mix.
And I haven't even shifted into Spanish. Para todas las que hablan en español.
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amanda, for the chance. It's been a privilege and an honor. And I know this is a work of love, and you've done such a beautiful job. I'm just honored to be here.
Thank you. It means the world to us. And if we can impact as many lives as possible, that's our mission together. And I know that's your mission, our mission. And this is what's so beautifully aligned. So again, thank you. You have a beautiful evening. What time is it over there, girlfriend?
For me, it is 4:54 p.m.
Oh, early.
Oh, it's super early. Well, I want to congratulate you, because you are the kind of person that leaves people and a place better than you find them, wherever you go. And I think that's wonderful. It's so important. And we need more like you.
I just love what I do, as you do. And I think that will be fast friends forever.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I love that. Okay, ma'am. I'm working on my accent.
That's the Texan came out all of a sudden.
I'll bet. All right. Beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Mwah. We will see you soon. I know it.
All right, beautiful woman. Talk soon. Bye.